Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Attorney John Deaton has slammed an Ethereum quack. I'm calling him Quack, by the way. Those are not John Deaton's. Are not John Deaton's word. But he did say that one of the claims that this individual made was, quote, idiotic and untrue, end quote. Ah, yes, truer words have never been spoken. Look, and so he ended up just absolutely tearing apart some of these nonsensical ideas on Twitter. He wrote up an incredible thread, which I read just yesterday. I was like, oh yeah, I gotta cover this. Definitely shout out to John Deaton here, continuing to just bring the truth to the masses right here. But I do want to be clear at the outset, I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. Just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos all up on the internets about crypto-related stuff, but just as a hobby. Just for fun. So let's go ahead and dig in. Remember when Joseph Lubin tried to argue Ripple and XRP weren't competitors to Ether? Let me just pause right there for anybody that is not in the know. Joseph Lubin is a co-founder of Ethereum and also a founder of Consensus, which is an entity entirely created basically to support Ethereum, basically. But anyway, John continues. That was a definite signal that XRP was, in fact, viewed as a threat. In 2018, when Lubin made that assertion, XRP was battling Ether for the number 2 spot behind Bitcoin. Now read this. And what's he pointing to? Well, there's a little hand emoji pointing to this tweet from one Andrew Keys. Now, Andrew Keys, he's described on this website for a Bitcoin event as the following. Head of Global Business Development at Consensus and co-founder of Consensus Capital. Andrew drives enterprise business development strategies for Consensus and co-founded Consensus Enterprise to create Ethereum blockchain solutions for Fortune 500 companies and governments. And so you can see here he's a very pro-Ethereum guy. I would certainly take it as he views XRP as a threat. He's just sitting here straight up lying about it. And somebody that's that in the know in crypto, I have a hard time believing that they could be so informed on something like Ethereum and just have such nonsense ideas about another large cap coin like XRP, which has been around for the better part of a decade. It's not like this is Shiba Inu, which has existed for all of like 1 year, okay? This is XRP. It's used in enterprise-grade software. And so there's a couple tweets. There's one on the screen right here. You can see from December 24th, 2020, so that would have been right after the lawsuit came out. He just wrote, XRP is a security. So he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about there, obviously. And then he also wrote here, no, XRP is a useless token intermediated on a centralized ledger, and Ether is a digital fuel necessary to run smart contracts like gasoline is needed to run a car. Ether has been deemed a commodity already by the CFTC, and that was on September 14th of this year. And John Deaton absolutely shreds this concept. Check this out. Here's what he wrote. I don't represent Ripple. I do represent, however, 58,000 XRP holders, and calling XRP a useless token is both idiotic and untrue. Having that much animus against XRP after Ether was given a regulatory free pass nonetheless proves XRP was and still is perceived as a threat. Charles Gasparino's tweet, which is below, I'm not going to read it, it's on the screen though if you care to take a look, is part of the Ether free pass timeline. It was Andrew Keys who slipped up and told Gasparino that the Brooklyn Project's efforts were approved by the SEC. One would assume a free pass would generate more grace and confidence in those who benefited. Was XRP useless when the World Economic Forum listed it as one of the 2 most relevant crypto assets related to inter- and intra-bank payments and settlements regarding wholesale central bank digital currencies? The WEF page lists JPM Coin as a competitor to XRP. Of course, JPM Coin is directly tied to Lubin and Keys. And Andrew Keys, he's again the one that we just cited there, is stating that XRP is centralized. It's a centralized database. That's it. It's just a centralized database. You can just open up an Excel spreadsheet and just type some crap into there. It's the same damn thing. Oh, thanks, Andrew Keys, for your absolute garbage statements that you put out into the world. John Deaton continues here. One would also believe that Andrew Keys or Joe Lubin would hesitate before attempting to argue that Ether was never an ICO and that it's simply digital fuel like gas needed to run a car. see below. The problem for them is that we know who came up with this gasoline/fuel theory. And by the way, folks, you'll see as we go through this, the reason that they're wording it like this is they're trying to skirt the system. They're trying to evade United States securities laws. Whereas Ripple, on the flip side, has been seeking to work with regulators for the entirety of their existence. Ethereum, from the outset, they stayed away from the United States and were wording things in such a way that they thought they would be able to evade United States regulators. And at least to this point they have, but I don't think it's because they had a good analogy or anything like that or argument. I think it's because of the people they knew. I think that's pretty damn clear. They ended up getting to know some people in high places with interests in the same end game, basically. That's what actually happened here. Now, John Deaton continues. Stephen Naryoff is sometimes described as the Ethereum architect and sometimes as co-creator of Ether. Regardless of title, he was the legal advisor who came up with the theory that Ether is simply a product, like gasoline in a car, a theory adopted by Keyes and Lubin. The hypocritical irony is that Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson have been charged with aiding and abetting Ripple in selling unregistered securities. The SEC must prove that they either believed XRP was a security or they were reckless in not realizing XRP is a security. It's very doubtful, based on the evidence, that the SEC will be able to prove actual knowledge or recklessness against the two Ripple executives. As a former federal prosecutor, I can tell you, a monkey could prove knowledge or recklessness against the Ether founders. A monkey could do it because XRP holders, led by sleuths like the digital asset investor, Brad Kimes and others, have already proven knowledge and intent using their own words. They knew Ether's initial coin offering, ICO, was an unregistered securities offering, i.e., they were afraid the FBI would arrest them. Co-founder Tetrit left the Ether project because he was worried about the very real possibility they would all end up in jail for securities violations. In the video below, Stephen Naryoff admits lawyers initially informed them that Ether's crowd sale was an unregistered securities offering. Naryoff himself acknowledges that the Ether ICO violated securities laws. Hence, my point. A monkey could prove up the case against Ether. And there are all these, I'm not playing the clips. If you've been looking at the screen as I'm scrolling through this, you can see this gentleman here. And I checked them all out. And I was like, yep, in a world where justice is distributed, this ain't so hot. This just definitely ain't so hot. But to this point, looks like the Ethereum folks getting away with this. And look, the point in covering this, and it's the same for me and anybody else that's talking about this stuff, it's not purely to bash them. It's to illustrate how unfairly XRP is being treated comparatively. It's not an equal distribution of justice. It certainly is not. We're witnessing enforcement just by pure regulation from the SEC, and that's unethical. It's not right, and it harms investors too. So obviously, there's a reason that we're covering this. But then you see some of these Ethereum founders just being complete jerks about this. Just saying nonsense and lies about Ripple and XRP holders sometimes even. Some of it's kind of disgusting, frankly. So of course we're going to talk about this. And the more belligerent they get, the more we're going to talk about it. So it is what it is. And you can see, look at the way that these people are talking. Some of these Ether, like heavily invested Ether people, isn't it obvious why they're saying the lies that they're saying? They don't want to be associated with XRP, which the SEC is going after, obviously. And on top of that, they view it as a threat. So, of course, this is not exactly surprising. And then John Deaton writes the following. In the video above, Naryoff tells the truth about the Ether ICO because Ether was given the regulatory free pass. So no one worries. But let's look at how they attempted to describe the ICO before being handed the Hinman free pass. The above video attempts to make clear that the co-founders didn't sell to investors and that Ether was a software product for developers to build their own products. Now, after playing that video, my trained monkey would hit play on the next video below. From the very beginning, the Ether founders, it's Vitalik sitting there, a co-founder of Ether. From the very beginning, the Ether founders were aware of U.S. securities laws and that if they sold to U.S. investors, it would be a serious problem. It's why they incorporated in Switzerland to try and avoid complying with U.S. regulations. And look, I've highlighted this on the channel many times before, that the language that they've used in certain clips that have been dug up, they knew what they were doing. Oh, they knew, they stated that the money that was being collected, in part from United States citizens, it was to build something that didn't exist, to build out the Ethereum blockchain, including the native digital asset. And it's crystal clear. It could not be more obvious, right? And then John writes, and it's not just Lubin or Neroff or Keys that played the word games. They all were given instructions to avoid using particular words like invest, investor, or investment. Watch Gavin Woods in May of 2014 slip and use the word invest. And again, I'm not going to play the clip, but these guys knew they were playing words games. They thought that just changing the word a little bit, that would make it so that the regulators wouldn't come after them. And then the whole time Ripple has existed, they've been transparent and honest, and they've been speaking with the SEC before even all this nonsense, and what do they get? This is not right, folks. This is not right. John Deaton continues. There are many more video clips I could use to make my point. Too long for Twitter. Like the clip of Vitalik Buterin saying he wanted the Ether crowd sale to be open for anyone to buy. Certainly the clip below doesn't cast Lubin and others in a favorable light. Although it's without question or debate that Ether started out a security, I don't believe it's a security today. Many disagree. But Ether fits the definition of a security a hell of a lot more than XRP does. But let's return to Andrew Key's claim XRP is a useless token. Why is it still in the top 7, especially considering the SEC case? Why are many developers independent of Ripple utilizing it? Are you aware that Bitcoin's scalability problem has been solved utilizing the XRP ledger as a layer 2 solution via spin to the bits? And then there's a tweet from Monica Long. I won't read it for the sake of time, but she's talking about incredible adoption, including on-demand liquidity, so feel free to read it if you want to here. John Deaton continues, if Andrew Keys is correct and XRP is a useless token, why does Japan's SBI believe in it so much? Why does Tim Draper own it? Why does Raoul Pal own it? Why does the Wolf of Wall Street, what's his name, Jordan Belfort? Well, it's not loading. I'm in a hotel right now, so it's loading slow. Not the best internet here. Jordan Belfort. So why does Jordan Belfort own it? The XRP ledger is an amazing technology. It contains the world's first decentralized exchange, and it simply works. Yeah, and I'll just pause here to point out, on-demand liquidity corridors continue to open, so if it's so useless, why do all of these financial firms around the company, many remittance companies, find it so useful to utilize XRP? Or is it that they're not getting any sort of use out of it and they're just so stupid they don't even realize that this XRP thing's not even helping them in any way? Does this Andrew Key guys know best that it's just centralized in a useless token? He knows better than all of these customers around the world, Ripple's customers? What do you think makes sense? I think I know. And then here you have Andrew Keys says the XRP ledger is centralized. Ripple controls less than 5% of the validators. Ripple's amendment to the XRP ledger was vetoed. A supermajority could force Ripple to burn its tokens. Yet Vitalik stopped the trading of Ether for a valid reason. As for 2.0 centralization, and he's got a little, got a link there. I'm not going to read this part of your stuff from Stefan Huber. But John Deaton writes, as for the Ether is a product analogous to gas needed to run your car argument, some should let that argument go. After all, the grand architect of that schematic wordplay may no longer be a credible source. Plus, you should never give credit to someone to someone looking to cut a deal. And so here you can see early Ethereum advisor Steven Narioff arrested in multi-million-dollar cryptocurrency extortion scheme. Yikes. And then John Deaton writes, to wrap this all up, if you don't like Ripple, who cares? Why hate on the token owned by millions of individual investors? Why not just accept the free pass? Be appreciative. Have a little grace. And shut up. You know, he's got a little shush emoji. I said shut up. On second thought, keep talking. Otherwise, we might not have been able to piece it all together. Golf clap for Mr. Deaton, everybody. I love it, man. His threads are always fire. Anytime I see he's got one of these long threads, I'm just like, oop, Go ahead and pop the popcorn, kick up the toesy woesies, relax, and just read on up, son. It's good stuff here. All credit in the world to John Deaton. By the way, if you haven't checked out his YouTube channel yet, go to Crypto Law TV. Just type that in into YouTube in the search bar, and it'll pop right on up. His channel's growing fast. I saw one of his videos just the other day. He was already up to, I think, almost 15,000 subscribers at the time. Incredible growth over a short period of time. Fantastic content. So yeah, Crypto Law TV, type it into YouTube. You shall find it, and you shall not regret. Let me know what you think below, but I'm done. I'm all wrapped up here. I am not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.